But all the Eagles' wins this year have come in primetime games. Something's got to give. What's it going to be? Scoreless early. Carson. No, that's not it. All right, so a little bit rusty. Tried to go to Greg Ward there. Later here, 2nd and 13. He's got Goddard. This is going to be a big play. Put it out there. Bobby Wagner catches up because the ball hangs in the air, and Jalen Hurts is in. He's in. What are we going to do? All right, looking. He goes to Alshon Jeffrey, who makes his first catch of the season. Okay, we got him. He's going out. He went in for one throw, and then they took him out. So that was a little bit weird, but I guess Carson's going to take advantage of it and run with it. Meanwhile, Russ, take advantage of this. DK, got it. 52 yards. DK versus Slay was something. We'll get into that. That was much ballyhooed on the broadcast, and it was very one-sided. Look out! Is that Lockett? Nope. It's his twin brother, David Moore, with the classic Lockett sort of toe drag looking play there. That's a touchdown, 7-0 now. Here comes Chris Carson. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you. What a run. Chris Carson, what a runner. Touchdown, Seattle. Look at Pete. Did you know he's the oldest coach in the league? Pete Carroll fired up. There's millions of shots in primetime games that Pete Carroll just gesticulating wildly. 20-9, a 4th and 4. We're going, and we're going nowhere. Look at how cool that touchback was. We are doing a flapping. Andre Diggs interception, and that is a wrap. The Eagles, no offense. Seattle, better defense. And it goes on and on. Look at 3-7-1 next to Philadelphia. But more importantly, Seattle won. And after the game, DK Metcalf had some things to say.
It's kind of like coming home, you know, a place that had a chance to draft me, but, you know, they didn't. So, you know, I got to make them pay. One of the defensive coaches came up to me, and it kind of made me mad that he was like, you know, I was in Detroit with Megatron, but you're not there yet. You know, in my mind, I'm not trying to be Megatron. I'm trying to be me. So, you know, had a little chip on my shoulder the whole game.
Was that Jim Schwartz?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It was Jim Schwartz. Oh, Nate, what do you think of that?
Spot on. DK is mad because the coach who coached me went up to him and said something that made him a little bit hot. You know, I like the fact that, one, DK is willing to put that out there.
Yeah.
Because usually players keep that to themselves. A coach walks up to them, and they'll keep it to themselves, and they won't say anything. Two, I know Schwartz. I don't know if he is saying that to get into his head. I don't know if he is saying that to make him mad. But Schwartz, Jim, I'll just say you might want to leave that dude alone, man, before the game. Now, to bring it back full circle, DK isn't Calvin Johnson. He's not close. Is he one of the closest things to mimic Calvin Johnson? Yeah. But it took Calvin Johnson 6 or 7 years before we respected him as the best receiver in the game. It took him 9 years before we looked at him and said, please don't retire, CJ. So for us to look at DK and tell him that, he understands that, which is why he was calm and said, I'm not trying to be Calvin. I'm trying to be DK. But I'll tell you this, and this is just a warning to all coaches, please do not go up to beasts like this and poke the bear.
What a story.
You know, Jim Schwartz is going to be asked about this. And it could have been like, hey, Calvin, you know, I used to coach Megatron. You keep working, or hey, DK, you keep working, you're going to be just like him. And it could have been that. But he took it and ran with it. This is why I'm kind of triggered by it, though. Do you remember what happened the last time DK Metcalf went to Philadelphia? Like, in the playoffs, he had 160 yards against the Jim Schwartz defense.
Most ever by a rookie.
Ever! And literally, watch this at the end of the game, catches it downfield, is going to get up and wave goodbye to the Eagles fans, of which there were allowed back then, and eliminate the Eagles from the playoffs. So Jim Schwartz got shredded by DK the last time he saw him. To approach him in any way other than you're the man, I'm going to just suck up to you right now, would be a really strange strategic choice by a guy who, as we know, is no wallflower. So maybe he did go up to him and talk a little junk. That was probably not the best move. Ask Darius Slay. He did the same.
Yeah, look, and the truth of the matter is, I looked through 2 years of their career, Nate. DK Metcalf's numbers hold up against Calvin Johnson. Is he not the same Hall of Fame? He's going to lead the league in receiving yards? I don't know. And break records? Who knows? But I wouldn't have poked the bear either because he absolutely shredded them when it mattered most, especially on that deep pass. And last night, he was incredible. Might be a bigger story in Philadelphia than it necessarily should be, or it's just a typical story with the Eagles this year. Like, what are we doing? Just stop.
Or did DK learn something from watching Michael Jordan's Last Dance and heard a compliment and flipped it and turned it around and used it as motivation? I'm really curious to do a deeper dive. I would love to hear from Jim Schwartz, but I want to hear further from DK. Was it Jim Schwartz saying, yo, like you said, Kyle, yo, DK, you're good.
Heck of a player.
Yeah. Calvin Johnson is a different level, but you're going to get there.
Let's talk about this.
Have a good game. I'll see you afterwards.
Let's talk about looking at the playoff picture. Seattle waving goodbye to the Eagles and moving up, guys, to the 2 seed in the NFC. The Eagles dropped to 3-7-1, still within striking distance in the NFC East. Nate, right back to you. A lot of teams stumbling and disappointing performances in Week 12. The Seahawks got the job done. How do you feel about Seattle, your other former team?
Yeah, we love the question here on the show. Who do you trust? Who do you have more confidence in? We get that question once a week, maybe once a day. I trust Russell Wilson when it comes to times like this. I know we were having this conversation about the Seattle Seahawks, and there was panic across the NFL. You know what? Russell Wilson doesn't look like an MVP. You know what? This defense can't stop anybody. You know what? The NFC West is too loaded. And what did I tell you? Calm down. We got time. November, December, I trust Russ. And that's exactly where we are. November, December. And I trust Russell Wilson as much as I trust any quarterback in the NFL.
In the NFL.
Okay. In the NFL, period.
23-17, and it felt like it was 100-0. At no point in this game did it even feel close, and that's a testament to what the Seahawks do. Yesterday, we came on the air and we talked about how the Arizona Cardinals had it all in their hands, and then they travel to the East Coast, and they have a young quarterback and a first-year coach, and they get stuffed at the line when it matters most, and their kicker's missing field goals. And that East Coast trip was vexing for them. Somehow they lose to a Patriots team that had 80 yards passing. We talked about the Raiders. We celebrated their near victory against the Chiefs and said, okay, well, now they're taking on a 3-7 Falcons team. They're going to roll. No, the Raiders, they couldn't handle the East Coast trip. This could have very easily been the Seahawks last night. Instead, the Seahawks, who have a quarterback with a Super Bowl ring and has been there and done that, and a bunch of guys who have won playoff games, and a coach that is headed to the Hall of Fame, packed their bags, watched the rest of the league on Sunday, and did not let that happen to them. They went to the East Coast, and they did exactly what they're supposed to do. They handle their business time and time again, whether it's at home or whether it's on the road. This could have very easily been one of those trap games, and there's bigger games on the schedule.
Yeah.
No. We're going to the East Coast. We're taking care of business. We're getting back on the plane, and we're going to hold it down in the NFC West.
I also think they have the most supreme force going on right now. I'm talking about they have a Damian Lillard type. They have the guy who hit the shot. I don't even think it's Russ. I think it's DK. He showed me something last night that I've never seen before. All the broadcast talked about all night was DK versus Darius Slay, DK versus Darius Slay. DK was the Jake Paul in that equation. Believe me, it was that one-sided. Darius Slay was asked afterwards on the sideline, hey, did you ever think about getting some help for you? As DK kept eating, he goes, hell no, I didn't need no help. What kind of question is that? Next one.
Whoa.
Yes, you did. That was his answer. You needed a lot of help. By the way, DK last night, watch this play. The safety has a clean shot and just runs over him. I don't see anybody doing that type of thing. 6 hours ago, DK Metcalf tweeted the Michael Jordan meme of him sitting there, and I took that personally. He's sitting on the chair from the Michael Jordan documentary, so he's way into it, took it way personally. I've never really, listen, they got the guy. DK Metcalf is the ultimate fourth. You know, I talked yesterday about Derrick Henry is like, what did you say, the most significant player in the NFL? DK Metcalf wants to be at that table. I couldn't believe how good he was last night. We've seen a lot from him. I get it. Last night was something different. They can beat anybody when he's going off.
Yeah, and I know, Kyle, we didn't see a ton of Chris Carson. He only had 10 touches, but it was for 69 yards yesterday. A huge impact. I talked about it. When he's off the field, it's not the same team. They are 6-0 when Chris Carson is out there. I like a sous chef for the guy who wants to cook. Let Russ cook all that. That's all cute. But a run game is a great way to balance it out. And we didn't even see him at full force. Maybe he's not 100%. They're working him back into the offense. But if Seattle's going to emerge from the NFC, he's going to be a huge, huge part of that. He looked good.
I don't know about a sous chef. I think he's like a butcher. You know, like with the big cleaver, just hacking pieces of meat and throwing them to Russ.
Just blood all on his apron.
What an angry thing to say. It's as if you have angry runs today.
In fact, Kay, because of strange schedule shifts, we have angry runs tomorrow.
Yes, on the show.
A special version.
Keep sending them, and then we might have them Thursday. After that, Wednesday. It's all going on right here.